Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Urban Legends video. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll talk about the next crazy and kooky urban legends here. Again, this particular theme for the next couple of videos, probably the next two or three, have to do with talking about some of the craziest stuff that people still believe to this day. And much like my last video having to do with the earth being flat, some of it might not be too well liked when it comes to its theme. But again, it's just for this go around. The whole idea is I can't believe people in some cases still believe this stuff. And so this particular urban legend that we'll talk about has to do with a celebrity of sorts, and it's still some of the craziest things that go around on social media and some of the websites with regards to him. And I'm talking about Bill Gates. Yes, the ultimate geek. Nobody suggested these urban legends, but they were so good I just had to talk about them here and share them with everybody. But absolutely, to this day, there are still some pretty zany urban legends about him that frequently, and the way I see it show up on Facebook, that it's still a wonder that people still post about it altogether. Probably the most popular urban legend tied to Bill Gates has to do with his 11 rules of life, which you're looking at a picture of here. No doubt you've seen this already somewhere, either on Twitter, either on Facebook, on somewhere else altogether. You've seen this popular posting where it looks like Bill Gates has some wonderful advice that he shared to some set of school kids, and the way that the advice worked, rather than it being like, let's say, the dreamy, fulfilling, hopeful, sky's the limit, you have everything within you to reach whatever you can be kind of speech. Instead, he gave them the world sucks, your life is going to be hard, get used to it type speech. And this is how it goes. Apparently, sometime back then, I don't know if it was in the late 90s or the early 2000s, he supposedly visited a Mount Whitney high school. And at that high school in Visalia, California, he was supposed to give some commencement. Again, one of those usual commencements involving hopeful speech. But nope, he got pretty blunt, he got pretty crass. He basically told them a specific set of rules that would snap them out of their dreamlike state, and that way they could get prepared to, better for the world and the harsh world that they were going to meet after graduation. Like some of those rules that you've seen that no doubt you've seen on Facebook and on Twitter, like rule number 1, life is not fair, get used to it. Rule number 2, the world won't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. Rule number 4, if you think your teacher is tough, wait until you get her boss. Rule number 6, if you mess up, it's not your parents' fault, so don't whine about your mistakes, learn from them. And then I especially like the last one, rule number 11, be nice to nerds. Chances are you'll end up working for one. So yes, popular item. I still see it shared to this day on Facebook. Now here's the thing, this is 100% false, because he did not write this. He did not say it. He did not go on some commencement speech in some high school somewhere. In fact, the guy that really created this is this guy, Charles J. Sykes. He wrote this as some kind of op-ed piece. He's a writer of books that have to do with very blunt talk, a very blunt, I guess you call it, constructive criticism. And in fact, one of his books is called Dumbing Down Our Kids, Why American Children Feel Good About Themselves But Can't Read, Write, or Add. That kind of tells you exactly the kind of attitude that he has. In fact, this is his website here that you're looking at, the50rules.com, where those 11 rules come from. There's actually 50 rules in total. You can purchase this book directly on Amazon, and you'll get to see the rest of the rules altogether. But somehow, somewhere, somebody took those rules, copied and pasted them into probably some email chain, and then added either Bill Gates' name, or later on when it came to social media's Bill Gates' face, and then that's where it took on a life of its own. But yes, absolutely, you will see this every now and then. You'll see people sharing this somewhere. They'll put their own little comments, and it'll say, they'll say, what wonderful advice, no wonder this guy is so smart and so rich. When again, this has absolutely nothing to do with him, with Bill Gates altogether. Now, the next urban legend that somewhat is around, not very much as in the past, but I do recall seeing this every now and then, has to do with the idea that Bill Gates is the Antichrist, that he is the son of the devil, that he is the being that the Bible said was going to bring about the earth's doom. And it has to do with several crazy coincidences that people still believe to this day. Like, for example, Bill Gates, his full real name is William Henry Gates III. And apparently, if you take his full real name and you change it to that ASC3 code that's used in computer language, if you do that and you add up all the numbers that his letters, the name consist of, then it brings up the special number 666. I don't know if this is 100% true. It could just be 100% coincidence. Someone has to tell me if in the world of ASC3 if that really is true or not. But that is the main blunt thing that people point to that believe he is the Antichrist. Another reason for it has to do with something the Bible said. This is straight from Revelations 13, 16-18, and it says, "He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell," keywords there, buy or sell, "unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number. His number is 666. So again, it points to the idea that some man who has a particular number tied to him being 666, in this case being Bill Gates with his name totaling that, will have the ability where they will create something that no one could buy or sell unless they have that mark. And so the loose association is people that have computers these days, a majority of them are still Windows or DOS related. It's as much as Apple has a big foreground when it comes to the computers that they sell, they still nowhere so close to what Windows has, because Windows operates on so many other machines. And so the idea is, if somebody can control what they buy or sell, if whoever this beast is from the Bible, then that is Windows itself, because most people have those computers and they have the ability to purchase and sell things online through their computer, which in most cases has Windows. So that's the loose association there with him being the Antichrist, that he has that control, that he's able to have so much of the world rely on his computers and the ability to buy or sell, that's why he is the Antichrist. Isn't it crazy, the stuff that people believe? But absolutely, that's where it's tied to it. And then something else altogether with the Antichrist is, since Windows helped popularize the World Wide Web, www, if you take that, another version of writing it is v forward slash, if that's right, I don't know. And if you do that, then v forward slash looks like 6, the Roman numeral 6. And so if you add that, then it's 666. I don't know. I think that's just funny, like hearing all this stuff all together. Here's another reason why people believe that Bill Gates is the Antichrist. There was a hidden Easter egg back in the 90s with one of the Excel files. It was Excel 95. That's how far back you have to go. And there was a specific Easter egg of sorts where if you helped go to a certain tab, hit Control-Alt-Shift at a certain point, click on a certain column within it, then you'll be rewarded with a special tour of some sort where you could move around within this file. And in it you'll see pictures of what would look like some people, and then there's columns. You're looking at some of the pictures here. You could buzz around, you could move around, and the idea is that this was all in fun, that this was a nice little Easter egg, which Microsoft was known for doing in the past with some of their older files. But some people took this as another way. They took this as a way of Bill Gates basically stating and kind of like showing in the open that yes, he is the Antichrist, because this is what he considers a loose interpretation of his hall of tortured souls, and that the people there are a good example of what hell will look like once everything is come forward with his with the doom that he brings upon Earth. Again, this is all just fun Easter eggs. The stuff that occurred there, it was just a way, apparently, for them to showcase who the developers were of some of the software, and anyone who did this task will be rewarded with this little Easter egg telling them all together. Crazy stuff, the stuff that people believe. Here's another urban legend, and it was two versions of it. Now, the first version happened to be with email, and it's the idea that there was this email that was sent out that if you shared this email and you followed the instructions that the email contained, then you would be rewarded with a check or something being sent your way for the variations go a couple $100s to a couple of thousand. And the idea is that Bill Gates was so rich that he wanted to essentially pay it forward and wanted to share his wealth with those who did this menial task. And the reason for that is most people would just discard it and be like, who cares about this? This isn't real. But for those that actually did it, they would be rewarded for their task and for whatever they did. That started off as an email, but now the second variation seems to be more Facebook related. It'll always show like a picture of Bill Gates and he's smiling, and there's a caption above him stating basically the same thing, and that if someone forwards this particular post, then he will reward that person with a couple of bucks to a couple of hundred, or he'll pick somebody out of the blue, like somebody that shared. He'll just basically draw it out of a hat, and whoever that person is, then they'll be rewarded with $1 million. Again, utterly 100% false. But this one, I still see it to this day in Facebook. The idea that someone believes, maybe they don't believe it, but they just think, there's always a chance. Who knows? It could be 100. It could be true of some sort. And if that's the case, then let me go ahead and do it. It just takes a couple of clicks, a couple of seconds of my life, and that's it. But again, 100% utterly false. Microsoft has no part of it. Bill Gates has no part of it. I think people just do it just to see, just to get their jollies off, to see how far it'll spread when it comes to the chain link or the chain reaction. And some people, when they see it do that, then that's what they're happy about. So, and then lastly, this one I've never heard of before, but it has to do with this. Apparently there was an auto mechanic who was driving down some street, I-5, and he happened to spot a BMW on the side of the road, and there was a driver standing beside it. And the reason why the driver was standing beside it is something was wrong with his BMW. Either the tires had blown out or the engine just completely died. And so the mechanic just pulled over, and him happening to know about information about BMWs, he provided some assistance and was able to help out this person. Some variations of it go that he actually drove this person, the BMW, to a place for roadside assistance. Others state that he instead helped them right then and there, and so the driver was able to drive off. And that's when the driver at that point, once everything was finished, said, well, thank you so much. Can I get your name? Can I get your address? I wanted to just send you a letter for recognition, or a letter for saying thanks for your assistance. And when that happened, the guy said, okay, sure, and that was it. And then lo and behold, come a little bit later, he receives the letter, and in it is either a check containing something for like $10,000, or he receives a letter stating, congratulations, your mortgage has now been fully paid altogether, and then it's signed at the end, Bill Gates. So that's another go around. I've never heard of that one before, but it seems obviously like a too good to be true type tale. The idea that Bill Gates, maybe he would be driving someplace and his tires or his engine goes out. But if that's were the case in this day and age, when you have so much social media that dominates any type of news, where it would just quickly spread, we would definitely have further proof on this. So again, utter false when it comes to this part too. Not saying that he wouldn't be that generous. I just don't think that situation has ever come up yet altogether. So anyways, just wanted to share that information with everybody, some of the craziest urban legends with Bill Gates, and I look forward to some of the other videos to talk about soon. Alright everybody, thanks again as always, take care.